Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about something I know a lot of you are interested in. Natural beauty products.
I know I am.
Yeah, right? It feels like it's everywhere you turn.
hmm
Like every product now is like clean and non-toxic and plant-based.
Oh, yeah,
And
cruelty-free is a big one.
cruelty-free, yeah.
For sure.
But with all of these buzzwords floating around,
Yeah.
it can get really confusing to figure out what's actually what, and are these products actually better, or is this all just clever marketing?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? Like, we want to know if this is all just hype or if there's actually something to it.
Right.
And how do we even figure out what natural even means in this context?
Right, because, you see a product that says it's natural, but is it really?
Right. Like, what does that even mean? Like, is there a standard?
Right.
It's kind of like the Wild West out there, you
Yeah.
know? Like, for a long time, the beauty industry hasn't had the same kind of regulations as, like, the food industry.
Oh, interesting.
So, terms like natural and organic can be totally misleading.
So how are we supposed to know what's actually good for us then?
That's the challenge, right?
Yeah.
But I think one of the reasons people are really starting to make this switch to cleaner beauty
Okay.
is because there's more awareness now about some of the potential health risks linked to ingredients
Oh, wow.
that are commonly used in cosmetics.
Like, okay, I'm getting a little nervous now.
Yeah, it's definitely something to be mindful of because we're talking about products that we're putting on our skin, and our skin is our largest organ.
Right.
And a lot of these ingredients can actually be absorbed into our bloodstream.
Oh, so it's not just like topical. It's like,
Exactly. It's not just staying on the surface,
oh, wow.
it's
Okay.
getting into our bodies.
So what are some of the ingredients that we should be on the lookout for?
Well, there are a lot, but let's start with two of the big ones, parabens and synthetic fragrances.
Okay.
Parabens are used as preservatives in tons of products, to keep them from going bad.
Right.
But some studies have suggested that they can mess with our hormones.
That's not good.
No, it's not good at all because hormones affect like everything.
Yeah.
Like our mood, our sleep, our reproductive health.
Wow. It's pretty powerful stuff.
It is.
Okay, so
Yeah.
hormone disruption is a big one. And what about synthetic fragrances? I feel like they're in everything.
You're telling me, like, seriously, open up your bathroom cabinet and I bet you'll find synthetic fragrances in almost every product.
Yeah.
And the problem is that companies can just list it as fragrance on the label.
Oh, so you don't even know what's in it.
Exactly. It could be a mix of like hundreds of different chemicals,
Oh, wow.
and nobody knows what's in that secret blend.
Oh, that's scary.
And these mystery mixes have been linked to like allergies, skin irritation, even respiratory problems for some people.
Oh, wow. So it's not just about like avoiding ingredients that are directly harmful. It's like you don't even know what you're getting.
Right, you're in the dark.
Yeah.
It's like a black box.
Totally. And speaking of ingredients that we want to avoid, what about talc?
Oh yeah, talc is another one to watch out for.
Yeah.
It's often used in powders, but it can sometimes be contaminated with asbestos,
Oh, gosh.
which, as we know, is a carcinogen,
Right.
not something you want to be putting on your skin.
Okay, so that's enough to make me want to just throw away all my makeup and go live in a cave somewhere.
Uh-huh, I know, right?
Like, what are we supposed to do? But so, okay, before we do that, tell us a little bit more about the clean beauty brands that are doing things differently.
Okay, so the good news is that there are more and more brands out there that are creating effective makeup without using those potentially harmful ingredients.
Okay, that's good.
They're choosing natural and organic alternatives. So think like fruit and vegetable pigments for color,
Oh, wow.
plant oils for hydration,
Okay.
minerals for coverage.
So they're putting good stuff in instead of just taking bad stuff out.
Exactly. Like they're showing us that you can have high performance makeup that's actually good for your skin and good for the planet.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Totally. But, okay, with all these brands saying that they're clean, how do we tell the real ones from the ones that are just greenwashing?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's tricky.
Right.
But one thing to look for is brands that are focusing on a few key things.
Okay.
First, are they actually using clean and organic ingredients?
Okay.
Like, are they walking the walk?
Right.
And just as importantly, does the makeup actually perform well?
Right.
Because what's the point of a natural mascara if it's like flaking off after an hour?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And finally, affordability, clean beauty shouldn't have to cost a fortune.
Totally. Are there any brands that come to mind that you think are really embodying those principles?
Oh, yeah, for sure. There are a few that stand out to me.
Okay.
One is ILIA.
Okay, I've heard of them.
Yeah, they're known for their multi-use products. So, you can use one product in a bunch of different ways.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's great. And they're really committed to sustainability, too. Like, they use recyclable packaging and they support environmental causes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've also heard amazing things about their super serum skin tint.
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
Like, I think I read a review where a beauty editor said it was a total game changer.
I think I read that same one. She was raving about how well it worked.
Yeah.
And how it's packed with all these skin-benefiting ingredients. So it's like skincare and makeup in one.
It's like multitasking, but for your face.
Exactly.
I love it. Okay, so what other brands are out there doing great things?
Okay, so another one to keep on your radar is RMS Beauty.
Okay.
They're all about using food-grade organic ingredients.
Wow, food-grade makeup. That's interesting.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool. It shows how committed they are to using the purest, highest quality ingredients.
Yeah.
They even did this cool comparison where they showed how their makeup worked on someone in their 60s versus someone in their 30s.
Oh, wow.
And it looked amazing on both of them.
That's a good sign.
Right. It just shows that clean beauty is for everyone.
Yeah, totally. It's not just for like a specific age group or anything.
Exactly. And it's not just about individual products either,
Okay.
Like, it's really exciting to see brands that are weaving a larger social impact into their mission.
Oh, I'd love that.
Like Cheekbone Beauty, for example.
Okay.
They're an Indigenous-owned brand, and they're all about empowering Indigenous youth and giving back to their communities.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know, right? It's beauty with a purpose.
I love it. It's so inspiring to see brands using their platform to do good in the world.
Totally. And it just highlights how the clean beauty movement is about so much more than just looking good,
Right.
It's about making choices that align with our values.
Yeah.
Whether that's about our health or the environment or social justice.
I love that. I feel like this is really making me rethink my whole approach to beauty.
Me too.
But I have to say, it also feels a little overwhelming trying to figure all this out and make the best choices.
Oh, for sure. It can feel like a lot, especially with all the information out there and all the marketing claims.
So where do we even begin?
Well, it starts with being aware,
Right.
Like, take the time to read labels, do some research on brands you're curious about, and get familiar with resources that can help you.
Like what kind of resources?
Well, remember that EWG Skin Deep database we talked about earlier?
Oh, yeah.
That's an amazing tool for researching the safety of ingredients in tons of different products.
So you can just like look up a product and see what's in it.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome.
And there are also some really great articles from reputable sources, like The Good Trade, that do deep dives into clean beauty brands and give you the lowdown.
So it's like having a guide in the Wild West of beauty products.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Can we maybe recap some of the key takeaways for our listeners?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So first things first, natural doesn't always mean what it seems.
Right. We can't just trust the label.
Nope. Definitely not. Regulation in the beauty industry is still catching up, so it's really up to us to be savvy consumers and do our research.
Yeah, it's like we have to become beauty detectives.
Exactly.
Okay, so ingredient awareness is key. What else?
So we talked about some of those potentially harmful ingredients to be on the lookout for.
Right, like parabens and phthalates and synthetic fragrances and talc.
Yep, all those things. And the good news is we've got resources that can help us decode those sometimes confusing ingredient lists.
Right. Okay, good.
And lastly, I think it's important to remember that the clean beauty movement is more than just a trend.
Yeah.
It's like a full-on revolution.
It feels like it.
Yeah, and there are so many incredible brands out there that are creating amazing products that are good for us, good for the planet, and good for society.
I love that.
It's a win-win-win.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I'm so glad that we're seeing this shift towards more conscious beauty choices.
Me too. It feels like a real turning point.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder what kind of impact this could have on the future of beauty, Yeah.
Totally.
I feel like consumers are getting more and more informed and demanding more transparency from brands.
Oh, absolutely. And as that demand grows, it's only going to push the entire industry in a better direction.
Hopefully, yeah, towards more sustainability and ethical practices.
Exactly.
Okay, so knowing all of this now, how can we actually make better choices about the beauty products we're using?
I think it starts with just being more aware,
Okay.
like taking the time to really read labels and do a little research on brands that you're interested in.
Okay.
And, use those resources that we talked about,
Yeah.
like the EWG Skin Deep database and
Yeah.
those articles from places like The Good Trade.
Mm-hmm.
Those can be really helpful for making more informed choices.
Yeah, it's like we have to become beauty investigators.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Got to get out our magnifying glasses.
on your detective hat.
Yeah, exactly.
But, don't be afraid to experiment a little bit, too.
Okay.
Clean beauty is all about finding what works best for you and your skin. What works for one person might not work for another.
Right. We all have different skin types.
Exactly, and different priorities.
Yeah, totally.
So it's all about finding what aligns with your values and what makes your skin happy.
And it's a journey.
Right.
Totally. It's a journey, not a race.
I don't have to do it all at once.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, nobody expects you to throw out your entire makeup bag and start over.
Yeah.
You can start small, like maybe swap out one conventional product for a cleaner alternative and see how you like it.
That's a good idea. Yeah, just like one step at a time.
Exactly. And who knows, you might even find some new favorite products along the way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's so much cool stuff out there.
There really is. Once you start exploring, you'll be amazed by what you find.
This deep dive has definitely opened my eyes to a whole new world of beauty.
Me too. It's been so interesting to really dig into all of this.
Yeah, and I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
Oh, yeah, totally.
There's so much more to learn. But I think it's time to maybe leave our listeners with a little something to think about.
Okay, yeah, like a final thought-provoking question.
Yeah, exactly. What do you have in mind?
Well, we've talked a lot about how our beauty choices can impact our own health and the environment. But what about the social impact?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, like how can we use our purchasing power to support brands that are doing good in the world?
Right.
Like we were talking about Cheekbone Beauty earlier.
Yeah.
And how they're all about empowering Indigenous youth and giving back to their communities.
That's such an important point, Like beauty can be a force for good, not just for ourselves.
Right.
But for the world around us.
I love that it's like a ripple effect.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about.
I think so, too.
This deep dive has been awesome.
It has been so fun.
So much good information.
I hope our listeners feel inspired to keep exploring the world of clean beauty.
Yes, me too. There's so much to discover.
For sure. Totally. And on that note, I think we'll let everyone go and explore the amazing world of clean beauty.
Yeah, go check it out.
We hope you all enjoyed this deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
And we'll see you next time for another adventure.
Bye, everyone.